The LMC casts a wide net over the Sound Shore to bring you local event info, profiles, and conversations. Recorded in the heart of the village in Mamaroneck Cinemas at the studio on the Avenue, LMC Media brings you the LMC Cast Community Profiles.
Hello, and welcome to LMC Cast. I am your host, Gladys Dibble, coming straight from the studio on the Avenue. And I'm very excited to introduce two amazing, beautiful ladies from the village of Mamaroneck Building Department. So here we are. Hello, ladies. Welcome.
Hi,
How are you
Gladys.
doing?
Thank you so much for having us. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so
Thank
glad
you,
to have you
Gladys,
here.
and it's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank
Aw,
you for interviewing
the same.
Riena today.
I had the pleasure of speaking with you before this podcast, and I was blown away. I really was.
Thank you so much.
And I really do think that it's a great opportunity for us to showcase the amazing things that you have done, and having her as your mentor, I think it's amazing. She speaks very highly of you. So
I know, I always appreciate it. And I'm really excited to share what I worked on this summer. And thank you again for having me.
thank you for being
Thank
here.
you. This is wonderful. We appreciate the opportunity.
So I wanted to start by talking about the concept, right? Actually, first tell us where you work, your position, and how both of you met.
Absolutely. That's a good opportunity to start our podcast. So I am the building inspector in the village of Mamaroneck, the head of the department. And this summer was an unexpected surprise when I received a call from Singapore. And it was Riena Riena was there for an internship as well, an international internship and some private.
I study abroad.
Yes. She's from UC Berkeley, California. And she was my intern before. She said, Carolina, I think I would like to be your intern again. I said, well, that's amazing. Let me get the approvals for it. And once I have the go-ahead, come aboard. But she was first interested in exactly what she would be doing. And when I explained to her about some of the challenges we have, including the flood and the mitigation and prevention, and how we needed more manpower in order to create what I had in mind, she said, I think I'm up for the challenge.
Love that.
Yes, we
I
like
love
that
that.
can-do attitude.
Yes.
And then Riena finally, I got the approval, so I'm very grateful for the village of Mamaroneck. We got the approval from back then our beloved Dan Sarnoff, and then now she's here. Yes, she's here.
So you went on a conference, right? You went to a conference that actually sparked the idea about flood. And we all know how it's such a sensitive subject here in Mamaroneck. It's just really heartbreaking to see what the families go through. And I'm going to start crying soon. Whew.
Yes.
So I think that you going to that conference and getting this idea and bringing it back to her, and then what you guys did is amazing. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that whole experience?
Thank you. Yes, so the village of Mamaroneck gave us the opportunity for me and the village engineer to be part of a New York State floodplain manager conference. And we were both there with our eyes and ears paying attention to all of these possible solutions, things that we could bring here. And one of the conference panels that I did see was this incredible woman from Escoheta County. And she was, for 1 hour, introducing us to how she lost everything she had. When I say everything, I really mean absolutely every single item. And she was part of the emergency center in her county, and she received a call. She called her family, don't go back home, our house is going to be going away. So she made her life mission to create a preparedness handbook. And at the end of that, I said, that's what we need. I've been in contact with a lot of flood survivors, and I've been in touch with our flood mitigation committee, and even listening to the board of trustees meeting, the management, And the Emergency Operations Center in the village said it's time for us to have something like that.
Oh, that is great.
So when Riena came aboard, they said, Riena, it's time for us to create one for Mamaroneck. And I shared with her not only the knowledge that I was able to acquire during that presentation, but also during the other presentations in this conference, which, by the way, I did send daily updates to entire staff. So everybody could be part of that inspiration.
Right.
And then Riena went through what we call a self-guided research. I gave her the material, and with her skills, she did her own research, her own design. So even everything that you're going to be able to see, because thankfully this is a visual podcast, she put together the branding for the village. She got inspired by the colors of our Village of Mamaroneck seal, and she created the branding, she created the icons, she created the narratives, she corrected, well, by the way, she was the president of the high school, Scarsdale.
I was the creative director of my school magazine in high school.
So this is where all this comes from.
It was
Exactly.
nice
Where did she get it
to come
from?
back to graphic design, and
That's
also I
great.
love like disseminating information as much as possible
Right.
in like a neat and concise format.
Right.
So that's what I think I was able to achieve with these packets.
So once she gave you that concept,
Yes.
what did you do?
Yes. So going back to what you were saying about how flooding is such like a frequent and also dangerous and like scary thing for the residents of Mamaroneck.
Right.
I'm from the neighboring town, and I had no idea of this, like this terror that flooding has on this village. And so I was, besides the support and the resources that Carolina came to me with from the floodplain conference, I was starting from scratch. So I was doing all of this research, and I shared to the team, like, this handbook could have looked so different depending on what type of information I thought was necessary.
Right.
But I think I did my due diligence on the information out there, looked at all of like the federal resources available, and I was able to create a 8-page handbook with frequently asked questions, and also it's very catered to the village of Mamaroneck. So it has like our information, websites that are like hyperlinks you can click online, and a little bit of history of the flooding in the village of Mamaroneck, and what to do before, what to do after, how we can help as the building department. So yeah, all packed into 8 pages.
Wow.
Yeah, I learned so much from this process, and then I was also able to practice my my design skills, which was super exciting for me. And yeah, I can't be more grateful for this experience.
Yes.
Thank you for doing that, because our town needs this, right? I mean, you hear it all the time, and just to have a handbook that people can actually have physically, and it can tell them like what to
Yes.
do, a list of all the resources is what we need. So on behalf of all of Mamaroneck, I truly thank you for what you've done for us.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm excited for everyone to get a copy. And even just last week, there was a whole like group of storms coming through, and Carolina and I driving home from work, getting caught in like flash floods. That just like really proves the necessity of something like this. It was really terrifying, and I was just here working one summer. I can't imagine the people who go through yearly floods.
And it's like they go through one, and then it takes them about a year to recover, and for a lack of a better way of saying it, because they truly don't recover.
No, yeah.
And then they get hit all over again. And that's, I think, what makes it so devastating. So, yeah.
It does. I didn't lose my house, but I did one night working with the Emergency Operations Center with the village. I remember we were in Mamaroneck Avenue. I get a text. It was my car was at the mechanical shop in a different municipality where we also have flood.
Right.
They texted my car photo with water all the way up to the roof. It was total loss.
Wow.
So I had a little bit of experience of how damaged it is, but I said, you know what? That was just a car. Let me continue my work here with the village, and let's help everyone in need. So we just went through the night.
And
Yes.
and not to go off track, but a project like this for someone who's studying architecture and wants to build in the future is giving me like that inspiration to build more sustainably, think about retrofitting for I go to school in California, so earthquakes there, but also flooding there and flooding here, and think a few steps ahead, because I wouldn't have known, or that's something that's a new priority for me now.
Right.
that I
What a
really-
great experience, right? For you
Yes.
to actually be able to take this back into what you actually are going to do in the future. That's great.
And
Congratulations.
I'm going to add to that because I feel it's very important to share with our community that this was also done in Spanish.
That is the part that
Yes.
when we spoke yesterday got me so happy, because I feel that a lot of our community speaks Spanish, right? And I think we all try very hard, and the village, all of Mamaroneck, tries to do a good job in disseminating the information, but there's nothing better than having the information that you need readily available in your own language. So to have it in Spanish is amazing. And once again, I thank you on behalf of all of Mamaroneck. And I guess that's why you have that T-shirt. Can you show everybody your T-shirt?
Yeah, of course. So
Yes.
I gave a final presentation to the internal team on Wednesday, and at the end I was gifted this hilarious and amazing T-shirt. Thank you so much, Carolina.
You deserve it. You want it. You truly deserve
5
it.
stars.
A 5-star.
It's really funny.
You
Thank
are.
This is best intern ever.
And the color says something as well because we were able to put that in Spanish. Shout out to Neri Rabanales,
Yeah.
an employee of the village who did all of the confirmation that we used the right words, because Riena speaks Spanish as her third or fourth language because she's half Brazilian. That's why we have the scholars on her shirt,
The yellow.
and half
green.
Japanese. So she speaks those two languages fluently as well.
But I will say it was really nice to hear and speak Spanish this summer, because it's been, 3 or 4 years now since I finished in high school, and it's good to practice, and yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Working in the building department, I was the only one speaking Spanish there, and she helped me many times. I said, "Let's go. Are you going to speak Spanish as well?" So it was great.
So since we're on that subject, then why don't we switch over to Spanish for a little bit, right?
Sí, podemos
Claro
hablar.
que sí. Vámonos,
Okay,
vámonos.
okay. So, para la comunidad hispana, queríamos introducirle a Carolina y a Riena, que hizo un magnífico trabajo haciendo un panfleto que habla sobre flooding, porque no lo sé decir en español.
Inundación. sí.
Inundación, qué bien, gracias. Y ella indica la información que uno necesita de tener. Vamos a suponer si uno está inundado, ¿qué hace? ¿Cuáles son los recursos que uno tiene aquí en Mamaroneck para uno poder hacer una llamada y tratar de salir a flote, ¿verdad? Y para todos los que han pasado por esto, lo siento mucho de todo corazón, pero yo sé que todo el mundo en este town de Mamaroneck,
Esta vila,
en esta vila está
Sí.
tratando de rectificar el problema y tratar de salir a flote. So, ¿quieres decirle un poquito sobre el proyecto?
Sí, puede ser. Entonces, hola, me llamo Riena Parente y yo pasé este verano en el departamento de construcción en el village y preparé este panfleto sobre qué debe hacer antes o después de una inundación, y tiene información sobre la geografía de este village, y también la segura, y como yo dije, qué debe hacer antes, cómo preparar, y también qué debe hacer después de una inundación, y cómo nosotros, como el departamento, podemos ayudar.
Perfecto.
Sí, sí.
Wow. ¿Y lo habla bien?
Ella habla muy bien.
Sí.
Mira,
Más
esa
o
es la
menos,
cuarta
más o
lengua de
menos.
ella.
No.
Inglés, portugués, japonés y español.
Español.
Sí, pero
Wow.
no he hablado hasta 3,
Ya
4
hace
años.
3, 4
sí.
años. Y mira, este que hizo Rihanna
Sí.
se parece así muy profesional, porque es muy profesional. Mira, hasta como dijo anteriormente, ella dibujó en su computadora el mapa, ella dibujó todos los iconos que uno ve aquí, no es nada que ella hizo algo en Google Search,
Claro.
no, ella dibujó todo, incluyendo las secciones que se muestra todo el canal, donde está el nivel de la agua, cómo está la construcción, las árboles, y todo eso está escrito con las informaciones correctas y hasta los recursos donde ella hecho la pesquisa para encontrar esta información está disponible también. Entonces hay una página sola con todos los, como ya dijo anteriormente, hyperlink para la FEMA, para el Departamento de Conservación y todas las otras informaciones. Entonces es un panfleto factual, que hay información que pueden ser comprobada. Así nosotros gustamos de trabajar con cosas que no son boatos, son factos.
Son factos, sí.
Exacto.
Y como residente de Mamaroneck, ¿dónde podemos conseguir estos panfletos?
Este panfleto, hoy mismo Riena ya encaminó para nuestro Village Manager y ahora con el ok de él va a seguir con la distribución. Yo no sé exactamente cómo, pero esperamos que sea en el website y también que impriman muchos panfletos. Distribuiremos en todos los departamentos y tal vez en la casa de todos.
Qué bien.
Pero va a ser un próximo paso. Está ahora con nuestro Interim Village Manager.
Me alegro tanto.
Muchas gracias.
Y te felicito por todo lo que has hecho, de verdad.
Muchas gracias.
Es un honor tenerte aquí en nuestro town de Mamaroneck.
Y esta información es muy importante, pero también yo tenía mucho divertido hacerlo, entonces.
Qué bien, qué bien.
Gracias.
Y tú creciste en Scarsdale, ¿correcto?
En Scarsdale, sí. Pero nací en Brasil.
Naciste en Brasil y eres residente de Scarsdale. Trabajando en este proyecto, ¿qué pensabas viendo toda esta inundación y por todo lo que estaba pasando en todo el mundo? ¿Cómo te sentías?
No tenía ninguna idea y no sabía nada sobre las inundaciones, que es muy relevante aquí, 15 minutos de mi casa.
Claro.
Entonces, ahora yo sé y yo quiero ayudar a la comunidad, entonces yo hice esto.
Gracias.
Pienso que el punto más inspirador de este momento de hoy. Gracias a ti, gracias a la Vila que proporcionó esta oportunidad a nosotros. ¿Cuánta gente joven como Riena que tiene la gana de mejorar el mundo puede ser inspirada por este podcast y decir, como esta chica, yo también quiero hacer la diferencia, quiero ayudar a la gente, quiero hacer una cosa como esa. Muy importante.
Muy importante. Y le agradezco ese comentario. And I just wanted to translate something that she said that was,
excuse me.
It gave me chills, right? Because she is actually saying that she took this project that meant so much to her. She grew up in Scarsdale, so she really wasn't familiar with flooding and the impact that it has on the lives of so many people and in our community. And she did the pamphlet, and what Carolina is saying is that it should inspire the young generation to actually do something, right? If you have something, if you have a passion for something, go ahead and do it, right? Nothing's stopping you. That is what we're here for, right? And this opportunity that you got just gave you an amazing experience that you probably will never forget.
Yeah,
right?
And we know it's really important to spread this inspiration because with climate change, these extreme disasters like flooding are more prone to happening in these coastal areas. So I think it is important for the future of whether you're an architect or an urban planner or like anyone to keep in mind these disasters. And it's funny that Carolina mentions me inspiring others because I feel inspired by Carolina every day at work. Yeah. And this is
I love the chemistry between both of you. And when we were on the phone yesterday, it was oozing through the line. The energy, I feel energy, and I was like, oh my gosh, they have such a great relationship. I love them.
It's like she's my daughter. I know her mom is probably going to be watching that, but it's like a daughter to me in terms of, you enjoy seeing someone growing. That's what I mean. I see not only the personality, but the responsibility, the work ethic, all of that, and the ability to take every opportunity and make the best out of it. And Rihanna could see that that's also how I manage my department. I try to see the best ability and skill in each employee, and I say, you're going to thrive because now this is your opportunity. Go for it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do with Rihanna. In 11 weeks, that's all we had.
Wow.
And she
Yeah.
did even more than this. This is just one piece of the cake, one slice
One
of the
slice
cake.
of the cake. So is there any other project that you would like to talk to us about that inspired you or that you're very proud of?
Yeah, of course. So in terms of serving the community,
Yeah.
we work on the 3rd floor of the municipal building with no elevator, no wheelchair lift, and it's a struggle to see people. It's like almost an embarrassment to see people like not make it up the stairs. We have a stair lift in place, but it doesn't accommodate everyone. So that's tough
There's
as
some
a
weight limit, and she experienced the struggles we go through almost on a daily basis.
as a municipal building, as a public serving department, it's
Right.
really important that everyone can access like our space,
Yeah.
right? So I created a little booklet for a wheelchair lift proposal because our building was built in the 1800s.
Right.
There's not much space for an elevator, but we believe there's space for a wheelchair, and so it was fun to explore the different opportunities and get to represent that in a booklet. And again, like I said, it's the purpose of this is to help the community.
Yes.
So we have something called like human-centered design, where we design with like our audience in mind. So I created a list of personas who could potentially benefit from the wheelchair lift, and got to illustrate them and their role, and it was such a fun experience. And then also as an architecture
Do
student,
you want to expand a little bit
Yeah,
about
sure.
the persona?
So-
and she designed, again, talking about her design skills, she
Right.
designed all of those personas and very creatively described them.
yeah, so we have like different names. We have Breathless Betty, we have Defeated David, and they're members of the public, and they have different frustrations and different reasons why the current state is not accommodating them. We have Worried Wendy, who's a municipal employee. Any one of us could get hurt, and it would be difficult for us to even go to the bathroom during work, so that would be difficult. We have a member of the public's child who is
Has
a little bit
asthma.
reckless. Yeah, or even
Right.
there's
The
so
wheel-
many scenarios.
Yeah,
Right.
stroller.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have our coworker, motivated Matthew, who carries boxes and boxes every day, and so even a wheelchair lift
Up and down.
could help him.
Yeah.
And then I guess another fun part of this project was thinking of like hypothetical floor plans of where the wheelchair lift would work,
Right.
and doing surveys and practicing my like architecture that I do at school
That's
in this internship was awesome.
That's great. So
Yes.
where is that project now? Like, where are we on this? Is it getting reviewed by someone, by a specific department?
We had a meeting and we shared with our village manager.
Yeah.
So there are some levels of
Steps,
approval.
right,
So
yeah.
right now it's in that level of approval.
Okay.
But it's here, and
it's
it,
great.
just like this podcast, it hopes to inspire. We are solution driven,
Right.
right? The problems exist, so we are here to find solutions, and we proudly do it, right?
Yeah.
I love that. I really do.
And
What is-
obviously, I'm very passionate about ADA, which is American
yes.
Disabilities Act,
Right.
and accommodating and not discriminating against anyone. So
Right.
this was a project that I was passionate about.
There's another
Oh
one.
my God.
There is another one.
There are a few others,
There are
but
so
I think
many.
those are so many.
Yeah,
yes.
and I really appreciate that Carolina gave me like the freedom to take whatever project in what direction I wanted. So
Yeah.
that was really awesome. But now we have another booklet. This is all within the same branding of the village, based on the seal. And we have an expansion project because currently our municipal departments are split up into 2 separate spaces plus another third like storage space.
Okay.
And so from the daily like activities and struggles that we experience, we thought it would be a good idea to expand our site at 169 Mount Pleasant into one big municipal building. And so that would get rid of like a lot of the struggles that people voice, whether it's in our department or over at the Regatta.
Correct.
Wow.
Regatta is the other building we have, and as a vital department to the village, all departments are vital, right? But when you deal with the public on a daily basis and create paperwork, we noticed that we could have an improvement by the integration, and there is already an aspire to create an integration, but we had an idea that this integration could be done by saving the village a couple of $1000s because we would use the topography. Since she's in architecture school and my background as architect and urban planner, I said, why not show her what I sketched and showed before to our former village manager and deputy village assistant village manager, so she can create something that is more presentable than my hand sketches. I love hand sketching everything, right? And I said, how about giving her the chance to understand the programming, and maybe that's another way for us to give the village another idea for a solution-driven moment.
Wow.
Yes.
Once again, I'm just taken back by
I
all of
told
this.
you were in for a treat, right?
Yes, and
so
you know
is
what?
the audience.
It's the audience, really. Of course, I am too, but yes,
It's the wow
I'm
factor.
I don't know. Yes,
Thank
she
you
is a
guys.
wild factor. You
Yes.
are amazing, and thank you for all that you've done. I really thank you both for being here, and I cannot wait for our community to be able to see the pamphlet and the work that you've created. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Of course, and
Thank
it was
you
a
as
pleasure
well.
sharing them to
Yes,
you
thank
and hopefully to the community.
Definitely. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much
Gladys.
for being here.
Thank you for having us, and also thank you, Village of Mamaroneck, for allowing us to be here today. And before we wrap up, I would like to wish Riena a bright future ahead. Please come visit us always.
I will.
And we hope we work together in a very near future. So
Not the
California.
end.
I love you guys. Look at that.
thank you.
But
You
she-
are a star.
When you make it big, I'm going to be able to say I interviewed her on LMC
Gladys.
Cast.
I won't forget.
Thank you
And
so much.
5-star best intern ever.
Oh, show us the t-shirt again.
Let's go.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yes, it is a big
It's
deal.
only the best.
But thanks again, ladies.
Thank you, Gladys.
Thank
You're
you.
a great host.
Oh, thank you. Thank
And
you. I mean,
LMC
you guys
Media.
made it easy.
Thank you as well to LMC
Yes,
Media,
thank
of
you,
course.
Such a cool
Media.
space too.
Yes.
Isn't it
Yeah,
amazing?
It looks so professional. It is
Yes.
professional, not looks.
Yes.
And we welcome anyone else who has a topic that they want to come here and discuss. You can ask for me, Gladys Dibble, your
Yep.
LMC
And
podcast
the
host.
backstage crew who's doing an
Yes,
amazing
and our
job.
engineer, Tim. Tim is amazing. And that wraps up our session for today. Thank you so much again for being here. Thank you to everyone in our community. And I hope you are as inspired as I am. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the LMC Cast Community Profiles, produced at LMC Media's studio on the Avenue. Visit lmcmedia.org to book your time in this state-of-the-art convenient location, walkable from the Metro North train station on Mamaroneck Avenue. You can also support this nonprofit media center at lmcmedia.org/donate.